You are listening to That's a Wrap podcast with your host, Carlos Cruz, a podcast focused on bringing you commercial and entertainment industry news, reviews, interviews, and anything else we can come up with to keep you informed. We want to thank you for listening, and don't forget to tell other podcast listeners about our show. We also look forward to hearing from you. If you have any questions or comments for the show, you can contact us using telephone or Skype at 1-301-476-0709. You can also email us at podcast@nikkicruz.com. Our website and audio archive can be found at www.nikkicruz.com. That's NIKICRUZ.com. Welcome to That's a Wrap Radio. My name is Carlos Cruz, and you're listening to a podcast recorded in Silver Spring, Maryland. I'd like to welcome you to the first podcast show, and you just don't know how long it's taken me just to get this first show out of the way. It's been a while since I've last been behind the mic on a radio station, but then again, this one is not 100,000 watts, so I don't have that much to worry. But the audience probably can get a little bit larger than what I was used to dealing with in Key West, but that's another story. First thing to go over is just to let you know you can find all the information on the website, which is www.nikkicruz.com/media. And don't forget to spell Nikki Cruz as Nikicruz. I know that's a weird spelling, but I lived in Japan for about 7 years, and that's the name they gave me. That's another long story. Don't worry about that. We'll talk about that for another show. If you wanted to iChat me, you can do so via AOL or the Mac iChat at NIKICRUZ69. I know that's a weird number, but that's the only one that they had open. Yeah, I know. You can also find on the website our RSS podcast feeders. We're working on getting ourselves placed on the iTunes, but that seems to be taking a little while. It seems like Apple is kind of busy right now. You know how it is, how the big conglomerates are. Well, should I even call them a conglomerate? No, I think that's the wrong term to use. But it doesn't matter. They're Apple, so we'll just let it go this time. Also, the show is basically catered to the professionals for various industries of the arts and entertainment for the Virginia, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. area. So if you're into photography, modeling, the actors, the theater film, musical industry, this is basically going to be for you. What we're not doing is we're not going over and reading the playbill or reading the local newspaper and just giving you recycled reports of, oh, this show is good, that show is good, everybody loved it, everybody hated this. That's not what we're about. We're about basically bringing you information of how to make it and how to survive in this industry. We're going to do our best to get professionals from all over this state, D.C. and Virginia, in here to go over what you need to do to succeed. Success is what we're interested in. We all want to make it somewhere. We all want to be rich and famous. We all want to make it a Hollywood, New York, on one of the biggest shows around. Doesn't matter if you're a main actor or behind the scenes. You want to make it. That's why you're here, and we're going to make sure we give you that information. Once we know you're armed, you can be dangerous. How dangerous? That's going to basically be all up to you. Right now, I'm just winging everything, so if it doesn't seem smooth, I apologize for that. This podcast right now has been redone because the first one just, what's that word I'm looking for? Oh, it sucked big time. Yeah, I'm the first one to admit that. But don't you know, as a professional, well, I like to consider myself a professional, that when you do something for the first time around and you think, wow, that's the bomb. You let it sit down for a while and you revisit it again after you've learned a little bit more about whatever it was, and you go, damn, that sucked. What was I thinking about to even put that out there to the public? Well, this is basically what happened with the same thing. So, basically, getting back to everything, if you're into photography, you're going to be receiving information on a lot of reviews for equipment, styling techniques. I'm not going to get too detailed on a lot of things on photography. My main concern on that is just going over all the nice toys that you can get as a professional, semi-professional photographer out there. We're going to try to get some local industries like Pen Camera, Kodak, Canon, a couple of others to come over and discuss some of their hardware for us to have fun with, for those of us that can really afford it. You know what I mean? And if you have expensive taste, then this is basically going to be the place for you, because whether it's SLR, medium format, large format. I like playing with it all. Let's see, what do I have down here for my talking points? Yeah, you would have thought that this was a political podcast show with all the talking points I have. Okay, modeling. There we go. I knew I was getting somewhere around here. If you're looking to be in the modeling industry, which is basically kind of like photography, everybody and their grandmother does it. Well, at least from this side, it seems like everybody and their grandmother is doing it. Modeling, we're going to go over basically the beginnings. How do you get into your modeling? If you're really interested, do you have what it takes? Remember, modeling not only is about looks, but it's about attitude, determination, and a couple of other things that we'll discuss in further shows. So basically, the first couple of shows is going to be an introduction to each one of these. How to make it, how to convert, what do you have to do, get your resume. I want to get all the basics out because there are going to be a lot of amateurs out there that will be considering moving into one of these industries, whether it's now, whether it's later. They'll think about it. You know, they've had too many people say, oh, you're a nice actor, you can perform, you know a lot of voices, you have a good eye for photography, you have that look, you have that walk, you know how to play the band. Why don't you try it? For one reason or another, you don't. Well, hopefully by listening to this, you'll start to gain that confidence. You'll start to really focus your goal on trying to achieve what you thought you couldn't achieve or what you thought was out of reach. For actors, we're going to be basically going over what's going on in the local area, who's producing what, what's going on, and what are you going to have to do to get your foot in the door. The same thing is going to basically go for theater and for film. Actor, theater, film, those are going to basically be tied in together right about now. Now here's the fun part. Well, they're all fun, but this is where it really gets interesting. If you're a musician or band member, songwriter, whatever, producer, this is going to be the section for you. What I'm doing is I'm giving an outlet to all the local bands. That's the whole catch to it. You have to be a local band in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. Once you covered that, more than likely there's a 99% chance that your music's going to be played on this show. Right now, if you listen to it, there'll probably be 5 other people listening to this podcast show. Well, I hope not, but we'll just, use that as a nice round number to play with. This is basically going to be playing a couple of your tracks, giving a little background on you. You'll get a full segment devoted just for you and your band. And hopefully I'll be able to just mix everything so well that I'll just keep people coming back for more. It is so hot in here, and if I turn on the AC, I'm going to have so much feedback. So I'm going to just have to deal with the heat and drink my Lipton iced tea. Yeah, so if you're unsigned or if you're a singer-songwriter, you can just email me at podcast@nickicruz.com. For your submissions, we'll email back and forth, try to get a CD of yours in so I can just check it out, review it, and we can work on getting you on the show. The same thing for the modeling, acting, theater, film. If you're professionals and if you want to get on the show, which I'll be more than happy to accept you, if you go to the website www.nickicruz.com/media, there's a whole section there on how to get on the show and what you have to do to go there. Also, if you would like to have a personalized greeting for the show, you can basically call us up on our phone or Skype service, which is 301-476-0709. And what you do here basically is if you don't call in, you can create an MP3 file. And if you go on the website, all this information is there for you. Or you can call us on our Skype service. And Skype is pretty cool internet phone-based service that you can leave your message on also. And also don't forget to tell all your friends about That's a Rap Radio. It's important that we get a feedback from everyone out there. And in the feedback, what we basically like is not only what you think about the show, but what you would like the show to also talk about. It doesn't matter if it's a review about a certain article or a certain portion of the industry itself. Just ask your questions, and the panel of guest or the co-host or whatever will come and we'll get you an answer one way or the other. Of course, because of the volume email, it might take a while before you actually hear your question being covered. Well, I'm going to call it quits for now. I hope everyone enjoys their evening or day or whatever time that you're listening to this podcast. And I thank you very much for listening. It's been a pleasure keeping you company, and I hope to talk to you again soon. Until then, bye.